Okay, this lesson is on dividing polynomials. There is a division algorithm that I'll come back and explain in a minute. I just want to start with an example. So if we have divide 6x squared minus 26x plus 12, this is a polynomial, and this you're dividing by x minus 4. So this is the polynomial, and this is what we call the divisor. And the division algorithm says that if you have a polynomial, it's equal to the divisor times the quotient plus the remainder. So if you want to divide by x minus 4, your first step is to make sure that the polynomial is in descending order. 6x squared minus 26x plus 12 is in descending order because of the x squared and then the x to the 1 and then the constant. You also want to make sure that your divisor is in descending order. X to the 1 minus 4 is in descending order. Okay, so you're going to put the divisor x minus 4 outside the division box, and 6x squared minus 26x plus 12 is actually known as the dividend, but it's our polynomial. Okay, so to divide, since they're both in descending order, you're really only going to divide by this leading term x, and you divide into this first term here. So 6x squared divided by x is 6x. 6x squared divided by x is 6x, because x squared divided by x to the 1 is just x, and you have 6 divided by 1, which is just 6. So then you take that number and you're going to multiply it back out to both of these terms. This is where the 4 gets involved. So 6x times x is 6x squared, and 6x times negative 4 is negative 24x. Okay, so then what you want to do is subtract these. So what I do is there's a minus way out here, but you're subtracting two terms. So this minus really gets distributed to both of these, and that's how I like to do it. I like to draw my line and change the sign. So I'm going to change this minus to adding, and I can distribute the negative like this. So that's how I do it. I draw the line, change the signs, and now I'm adding, because subtraction is the same as adding, the opposite. So 6x squared plus a negative 6x squared is gone. Negative 26x plus 24x is negative 2x, plus 12 plus 0 is 12. So you bring everything down underneath the line, and then you start over. So now we have negative 2x divided by x. And negative 2x divided by x is negative 2, so that goes up there. And now you're going to distribute this negative 2 to both the x and the minus 4. So that would be negative 2x, and then negative 2 times a negative 4 is a positive 8. Then you're going to subtract again, which I like to draw my line and change the sign, so that negative becomes a positive and that 8 becomes a negative, and now I'm adding. So these cancel, and you have 12 plus a negative 8, which is 4. And you're done. Now, how you know you're done is this. This is a degree 1, and the constant is a degree 0. And you can't, when this divisor has a higher degree than your remainder, that's how you know you're done. So this is the quotient. This is the divisor. And this is the remainder. And you can write your answer two ways. You'll be asked to write this. You could write it that you have a quotient of 6x minus 2 and a remainder of 4. You just write that down. Or you could use the division algorithm, which says that this polynomial that you started with, 6x squared minus 26x plus 12, is equal to the divisor, which is x minus 4, times the quotient, which is 6x minus 2, plus the remainder, which is 4. And so if you were to multiply this out and check it out, you'd get 6x squared minus 2x minus 24x plus 8 plus 4, and that checks out to be 6x squared minus 26x plus 12. So you may be asked to write it that way, and then one other way that you could write it is that you have 6x squared minus 26 plus 4 is equal to x minus 4 times 6x minus 12 plus the remainder, and you could rewrite it this way, which is way down here. Let me point to it like that. So you could say that it is a quotient 6x minus 2 plus a remainder of 4 divided by x minus 4. So this is the result. When you're asked to divide, you get this. So this would be your quotient plus the remainder over your divisor. And so WebAssign might ask it for this. We usually just ask you to tell us the quotient and the remainder. Okay, so if we try a second one, 3x to the fourth minus 2x plus 1 divided by x squared minus x minus 3. Our divisor is x squared minus x minus 3. That's in descending order. And our dividend is 3x to the fourth minus 2x plus 1. And notice that you're missing some terms here. There's an x cubed term that's missing because you're going from x to the fourth down to x. There's an x squared term missing. Sometimes teachers ask you to write that in there, but I don't like to do it. I think it's extra work. You just have to be careful and notice that they're missing. I'll show you what's going to happen as a result. Alright, so if you divide 3x to the fourth divided by x squared, you get 3x squared. Why? Because 3x to the fourth divided by x squared, x to the fourth divided by x squared, you subtract, you're left with x squared. And now you're going to multiply this back out to these three terms. Okay, so this gives you 3x squared times x squared is 3x to the fourth. 3x squared times a negative x is negative 3x cubed. And 3x squared times negative 3 is negative 9x squared. And so then you subtract. So I'm going to draw my line and just change all these signs, distribute the negative. And now you'll see what happened. You're missing terms here. So you just have to be careful not to add things that aren't like terms. So 3x to the fourth plus a negative 3x to the fourth, they are like terms and they add to 0. But negative 2x and 3x cubed are not like terms. Alright, so if you look at all four of these terms, you just want to take care to write them in descending order and do not add them together because they're not like terms. So 3x cubed has no like terms, but it's got the highest degree. And then 9x squared would be next, and then minus 2x, and then plus 1. So it doesn't take long for your what you're dividing into to end up having all your terms. It's just this step right here you have to be careful and not add unlike terms. Alright, time to start over. 3x cubed divided by x squared is 3x. Now multiply this 3x to these 3 and you get 3x cubed. 3x times negative 1 is negative 3x squared. 3x times a negative 3 is a negative 9x. Draw your line, change the signs. They cancel. These are like terms, that's 12x squared. These are like terms, that's positive 7x plus 1. Degree 2, so you keep going. 12x squared divided by x squared is 12. 12 times x squared is 12x squared. 12 times negative 1 is negative 1x. 12 times negative 3 is negative 36. Draw your line, change your sign because you're going to subtract, and I like to add the opposite. These cancel. 7x plus 1x is 8x. 36 and 1 is 37. So you have a degree 1 here and you're dividing by degree 2, and that's how you know that's your remainder. So your quotient is this, 3x squared plus 3x plus 12, and your remainder is this. Alright, this is, I think, kind of a WebAssign wording. It says let f of x equals 2x cubed minus 7x squared plus 5 and g of x equal x minus 3, and it says find f divided by g of x. Then it says write your following function in the write your new function in the following way: quotient plus remainder divided by divisor. So 2x cubed minus 7x squared plus 5 is f of x, and g of x is x minus 3. Now we would have been done last unit, but now it's asking us to write it as a quotient plus remainder divided by divisor. So we have to use long division. So we're going to take x minus 3 and divide it into 2x cubed minus 7x squared. There's no x, so be careful about not adding unlike terms. Alright, time to divide. 2x cubed divided by x is 2x squared. And you're going to multiply these two together. Distribute this 2x squared to x, and you get 2x cubed. 2x squared times negative 3 is negative 6x squared. Draw your line, change the signs. Then these are going to cancel because they add to 0, and negative 6x squared plus negative 7x squared plus 6x squared is negative 1x squared. And then just bring this down. Okay, and then you're going to go again. Negative 1x squared divided by x is negative 1x. Now you're going to distribute, so that's negative 1x times x is negative 1x squared, and negative 1x times negative 3 is positive 3x. Draw your line, change those signs, and there it is. These are not like terms. You knew it was going to happen at some point. So this is negative 3x plus 5. This is a degree 1. You're dividing by degree 1. So you keep going. Negative 3x divided by x is negative 3. Now you're going to distribute back out. That's negative 3x plus 9. Draw your line, change the signs. They add to 0. 5 plus a negative 9 is negative 4. A constant is a degree 0. This is a degree 1. So since this is higher, you stop. Now it says write your new function in the following way: quotient, which was 2x squared minus x minus 3, plus the remainder, which is negative 4, over the divisor. That's it for the notes page. If you go to page 107 in your lab manual, if you go into Blackboard, you can get the key, or you can pause this video and work on one and then come back and see if you got the right answer. I'll work through it quickly. So you have x plus 2 into 3x cubed minus x squared plus x minus 2. There are no missing terms. It's in descending order. So I'm going to start dividing. 3x cubed divided by x is 3x squared. Distribute, and that gives you 3x cubed times 6x squared, or plus 6x squared. Draw your line, change the signs. That's negative 7x squared. Don't forget to bring everything down. You don't want to have to keep looking up. You want to see everything right here. This is your new polynomial. It's time to divide. Negative 7x squared divided by x is negative 7x. Then you distribute, you get negative 7x squared minus 14x. Draw your line, change the signs. That gives you 15x minus 2. 15x divided by x is positive 15. Distribute, 15x plus 30. Draw your line, change the sign. Negative 32 is your remainder. So your quotient, 3x squared minus 7x plus 15, and your remainder, negative 32. Next one, 4x to the 4th plus 3x cubed plus 2x plus 1 divided by that trinomial. So our divisor, x squared plus x plus 2. Our dividend goes underneath the division box. It's in descending order. No terms are missing. Oh, there is a term missing. There's an x squared term missing. So that means you're going to have some unlike terms eventually to remember not to add. 4x to the fourth divided by x squared is 4x squared. Distribute gives you 4x to the fourth plus 4x cubed plus 8x squared. Draw your line, change the sign. Cancel. Negative 1x cubed, and there they are. They're not like terms, so write it in descending order. Negative 1x cubed divided by x squared is negative 1x. Distribute, you get negative 1x cubed, negative 1x squared, negative 2x. Draw your line, change the signs. You get negative 7x squared plus 4x plus 1. Negative 7x squared divided by x squared is negative 7. Negative 7 times x squared is negative 7x. Negative 7 times x is negative 7x. Negative 7 times 2 is negative 14. This is a degree 1. Your divisor is degree 2. That means you're done. So your quotient is 4x squared minus x minus 7, and your remainder is 11x plus 15. All of these are descending order. So remember, if I had 2 plus x squared down here, you would immediately want to write it as x squared plus 2. Be on the lookout for that. X squared plus 2 is going to get divided into 4x to the fourth minus x squared plus x minus 2. I can see that there is an x cubed term missing. So I'm going to have unlike terms right on top of each other. Do not add them together. 5x to the fourth divided by x squared is 5x squared. Multiply that back out. That gives you 5x to the fourth plus 10x squared. Draw your line, change the signs. They cancel because you're adding. And that's going to be negative 1, and plus a negative 10 is negative 11x squared. Bring down everything and start over. Negative 11x squared divided by x squared is negative 11. Distribute, you get negative 11x squared minus 22. Draw your line, change the sign. They cancel. These are not like terms, so negative 2 and 22 are the like terms. So this is going to leave us with x plus 20. Degree 2 doesn't divide into a degree 1, so that means you're done. So your quotient is 5x squared minus 11, and your remainder is x plus 20. And the last one, x plus 4 into 2x to the fourth plus 3x cubed minus 12. Missing terms, descending order, however. Okay, so if this had not been written in descending order, you make sure you put it in descending order. Now 2x to the fourth divided by x is 2x cubed. Multiply that out, you get 2x to the fourth plus 8x cubed. Draw your line, change the sign. They add to 0. This is negative 5x cubed minus 12. Negative 5x cubed divided by x is negative 5x squared. That gives you negative 5x cubed minus 20x squared. Draw your line, change the sign. So you thought you would be done, but you're not. These are not like terms. Now you have 20x squared minus 12. 20x squared divided by x is positive 20x. Distribute, you get 20x squared plus 80x. Draw your line, change the sign. Again, they are not like terms. Negative 80x minus 12 is what you have. Negative 80x divided by x is negative 80. Negative 80 times x is negative 80x. Negative 80 times 4 is negative 320. Draw your line, change the sign, cancels. 320 minus 12 is 308. Positive. Degree 0, degree 1, you're finally done. So your quotient is 2x cubed minus 5x squared plus 20x minus 80. The remainder is 308. There you go.